What is going on, people? People. How y'all doing? It is a beautiful day. It is graduation day. And thank you all for joining me tonight. Got another good one for you in store. I'm trying something new. Listen, I am also, if I did it correctly, you guys should be seeing me on Facebook momentarily. I'm testing out Facebook tonight because, again, I want to make sure that, especially as we go through this search for the president, that people have the ability to let their voices be heard. And those of you who saw my video earlier, I was very serious about that. I really, really, really want to make sure that people are able to let your voice be heard, your thoughts, your criticisms, your feedback, good, bad, or indifferent. Like, now is the time for us to be able to get it out. All right. Before we get into that, I always got to do my current events and news and all that stuff. So I'm gonna go through that stuff. I have not given out the phone number yet because I don't want y'all calling just yet. I want to be able to. I'm trying a bunch of new stuff tonight. I got the Facebook going. I got the phone line. I'm gonna try to manage that all at the same time. So y'all listen. Y'all pray with me tonight. Hopefully it works. Hopefully it's not as stressful as I thought it was gonna be. But listen, graduates, congratulations. Today is a big day. If you are here and you are watching and you are in the chat, and if you can do so, type congratulations in the chat. Just if there's any graduates that may watch this later on, let them know that you guys are thinking about them and that we are supportive of them. Today is a humongous day for them. And let me say this before I get into it. I think this class in particular deserves a lot of credit, and the ones that were maybe 3 or 4 years before them. But these classes, I don't want to just single it to this one, but this is one of the classes that is included in that. They've had a rough go at it, the last few years, and they've had to deal with quite a bit. They've had to deal with more than I've ever had to deal with respect to just getting through school. And so they deserve a lot of kudos for finishing and crossing the stage today, because I know it was not easy. In the face of adversity, man, the kids that were able to walk out of there today with a diploma, that is nothing short of amazing. Your parents should be proud. You should be proud. And just a couple of words that I want to share with the graduates. Listen, when you leave college, and there are going to be a lot of talent that's going to be leaving Bethune-Cookman and going into the real world, and some of the best talent ever. I don't care what school you went to. If you graduated from Bethune-Cookman, you are high-end talent, and you will be looked at as such in the business world or in the professional world. So just enjoy it. It's going to be tough. It's going to be hard, but just enjoy the journey, especially enjoy these moments right now before you really dive into it. Again, school was tough enough all by itself, let alone you guys had to go through instability, again, adversity. You had to go through all of this stuff. And so the fact that you all are able to deal and you all are able to power through that is amazing. If I had one piece of advice to give to graduates, it's to build your network, because your network will get you further than any degree, than any amount of intelligence, because it's a lot of times it's not what you know, it's who you know. So make sure that you're building your network and that you are talking to people, speaking to people, meeting people, and don't be ashamed, right? Don't be ashamed, because that's how you can find your way in places that you otherwise wouldn't have been had you not opened your mouth and just spoke, right? So yeah, you'll be getting y'all definitely showing out in the comments, giving the people some love. We got congrats from everybody, from Jason, from HBCU Band Talk. That's the Ron, Adolpha Chukma. I hope I said your name right. Jarrell Roll, and then to learn, depart to serve. You better know it. And our very own one of our new sponsors, Sky Confections. Congratulations, Hell Wildcats. Listen, it's a big day. Again, we're not going to do, I don't have the phone lines open just yet. They will be. And I'll give y'all plenty of time to talk. But again, like I said, I do got to go through a few things per usual. Um, Real MVPs, for those, if you're on Facebook and you're just watching and you never tune into the show and this is your first time seeing us, for my OGs, they know what this is, the Real MVPs. These are people who contribute to the show weekly. $1, $5, $10, $20. It doesn't matter. We put it all back into the show. We have a little bit of overhead and we have things we like to do for students. Again, the SGA was on a few weeks ago. We gave all of them like 40 or 50 bucks a piece. We did that from your contributions. So if you want to be mentioned as a real MVP every week for the month of May, I shout everybody out. Tundra, Theron, Adrian. Listen, these people have been given since January, since I started the show. Every week, these are three names that literally continue to help prop this show up. I'm appreciative of y'all. Thank y'all so much. We are not rolling like we roll without y'all. So, again, if you want to be a part of the Real MVPs, go ahead, support the show. The Cash App is right there. The Av BCU. I'll appreciate that. And then somebody said there's something blowing in the background. That's the AC. If y'all hear something blowing in the background, that's the AC. I'm sorry if you all hear that. And then what else we got? Oh yeah, big deal. So Love Tees, for we've had quite a few orders. This is, I think, the final week, and we are low on inventory. The link to purchase is on our Instagram, and I also, it might be on Facebook. I'm not sure. But yeah, if you're gonna order it now. And you know what? Y'all know what I'm gonna do? MVPs, my real MVPs, the Ron, Tundra, and Adrian. Y'all send me your shirt sizes. I'm gonna send you all shirts because I appreciate y'all. I just thought about that. All right, Tundra, Theron, and Adrian, please DM me or email me your shirt sizes. I got shirts for y'all, all right? Because I appreciate y'all. Everybody else, they are, again, the link is in the comments. And yeah, if you want to purchase, go ahead and do so now. The shirts are fully licensed, so the school gets their cut, and then the rest will go back into the show and the platform, which is the Av. And I appreciate you guys for supporting per usual. All right. I got a little bit of news I want to get into, and then we'll get into our calls, and I'll open up the line, and you guys can call, and we can talk about the presidents, we can talk about the candidates, and y'all can tell me how y'all feel about them, like it, love it, hate it, whatever. We can talk about it all right? But in this moment, I want to talk about something. Have y'all been paying attention what's been going on with Jackson State? Let me tell you something. This is ugly. This is pretty ugly. But there's actually a bit of a silver lining that I hope we learn from this. And it's not what you're thinking. But Jackson State president just resigned like yesterday. It was sudden, and it was yeah, from what I know, and I'm not going to tell you why. I will let you figure that out on your own, because number one, I can't confirm or deny any of the allegations, but let's just say they are salacious and not very good. And yeah, that's all I'll say. It's not becoming at all of a collegiate president. So they say he resigned, but obviously we all recognize that as, he's been fired. And again, the reason I will not mention, but just know that they've had 3 presidents in 5 years. Sounds familiar, right? The president before this guy, I'm not sure if you're paying attention to that, but he was fired also for salacious stuff. All in the same ballpark. It was all sexual. And I'll leave it at that. And so I don't know what's happening with them and them being able to find presidents that don't involve themselves in salacious things, but this is where we are. And so there's a quick lesson that I think Bethune Cookman can learn from this. Jackson State has had 3 presidents in 5 years, and two of the ones that have been fired were fired again for really, 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 like, way worse than some of the issues that any of our presidents have been let go or whatever. I mean, obviously the money issues with Jackson, but what's crazy about it is if you didn't know, you'd think that Jackson State has never had an issue with a president. And that's because the culture that they've built up for their institution. You guys remember last week I made a clipping saying that, like, Bethune Cookman isn't its president, and the president isn't bigger than the institution or the idea of the institution. You guys remember that? Well, this is a prime example of what I mean by that. Jackson State keeps on rolling. They keep on rolling. You look at their social media, you look at their public relations, you look at their communications, you look at all the things they do, and they check the boxes of making sure that their school looks good, and they tell their stories the way they want to tell their stories. They don't let external third party organizations dictate how people view their school. Jackson State is going to tell you, as Aggie as they can be as a fan base, right? The plus with that is that when Jackson State steps out, everybody knows it, and for the most part, they always look good. And the lesson I hope Bethune Cookman can take from that is that whomever we put in this position, right, we got to be the best with or without them. And we got to be able to have a strong enough culture to where, you know, like, whatever happens, the school is going to be the school. The thing is going to always be the thing. When they don't care who's up there at the top. And of course, they got some issues with the state and how their presidents are chosen. Like, you know what I'm saying? But the biggest point is that the culture is able to hold that school together through adversity. And right now, we don't have kind of that, right? And Jason says what he says, they're proactive and not reactive, right? That's half the battle right there. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to spend too much time on that. I just thought that was number one. If you know that story, you know how crazy it is. And again, y'all go Google it. You know, after the show, of course. Don't need the show to go Google that. But yeah, go Google that story, and you know what I'm saying. You'll see what I'm talking about, and then you go just look at Jackson State and how they handle themselves in public, and you wouldn't know. You just wouldn't know. All right. Well, I think it's that time, and it looks like we got some people watching on Facebook. I see some people kind of chiming in, so that's cool. Again, I'm just trying it over there. I think it probably takes some people getting used to it. But yeah, so here we go. The Real Hotline is what we're gonna call this. All right, and this is sponsored by Sky Confections. And if you're in the Metro Atlanta area and you're planning a celebration or a corporate event, let Sky Confections make your day a little bit sweeter. Visit skyconfections.com to order your next custom cake jars, or book a virtual or live cake decorating experience. All right. Be sure to like and follow Sky Confections on all social media platforms. See, I'm muted. See, I'm muted. 404-567. Let me make sure I got this number right. 'Cause that looked like I might have typed it in wrong, y'all. Let me just double check. So okay, I'm gonna put the number because y'all, I was moving like crazy today. I typed the number in wrong. Let me just edit it real quick, and then y'all can call in. Give me 1 second. 6536. I'm old, y'all. I'm sorry. All right, that's the number. Number's edited, and now I'm gonna open the phone lines. And as I wait for y'all calls to come in, I'll get the discussion started. I know a lot of people are, want to figure out who should be the next best president. Um, I don't I don't know that I have a dog in the fight. I just want the school to select the best individual, and I will say, and I have been pleasantly surprised with how much dialogue and healthy dialogue has been online. And I made a couple of posts this week, and um, there have been some great there's been some great commentary around the particular leaders, and I've seen a bunch of people giving their thoughts about Dr. Mosley. I've seen a bunch of people talking about Dr. Coleman Farrell. Uh, haven't seen a lot about Dr. Gibbs, but most of the stuff I've seen about her has been like, positive. Um, so it's just like, all right, it's just like one of those things where uh, I think we're gonna get a good candidate. I think they all seem to be pretty solid. And reading through the comments and reading through um, how much people and a lot of people from Cookman like it's like branches of people that know Mosley, branches of people from Cookman that know Coleman Farrell. Same thing with Gibbs, and so I just think it's a matter of like, you know, what is a board gonna do? Like, who are they gonna choose? But I feel like if they hear from you all, I think that helps, and they should. Obviously, they're gonna have to do their due diligence and do their research, and I actually thought y'all was gonna be itching to call. Nobody's calling yet, which is crazy. Am I still muted? I'm not muted. I'm good. Yeah, but I'm gonna just continue to hope that John Crossman and the board and the search committee, who, I mean, we got to commend them. And let me say this: what I think is apparent is that there are some people that that applied that may not have gotten the role. Um, there are some people that I think others felt like maybe should have been in the process, and I think some people thought like alumni should have, been there, and we should at least had an alumni finalist. Um, what I just thought about? I'm sorry. Did I? Let me. I had my phone on Do Not Disturb, so I wonder if that's maybe why I'm not seeing calls. Let me take that off just in case. But let's see. We got some comments. Let's hit these up. Sean Higgins says, "Can any of them raise money?" I don't know about Coleman Farrell and Gibbs. I'm not sure about their fundraising, but I do know that Mosley has raised some money, a lot from what I've heard. I have not been able to confirm, any of that, but from what I've heard, he's been able to raise some serious money. We've got this lady is a governor plant. She's not interested in their traditions. I don't know what that means. Governor plant. I don't know what that means. Let's see. FAMU and Bethune aren't playing as we speak. Oh yeah, they are playing. Um, yeah, I don't know what that's supposed to mean, and I don't know who you're speaking about. And we've got a call here, so let's see. Let's hope this works, y'all. Caller, you are on the line. What's your name and where you're from?
Hi, my name is Ashley Marshall.
Hey, Ashley,
I'm
how you
from
doing?
Jacksonville. I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Give me 1 second.
Good, good, good.
Chat, can
Okay.
y'all can y'all hear the call? Chat, y'all let me know if you guys can hear. Put a Just say you can hear. I'm gonna wait. Give 1 second. Anyways,
Okay.
how you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Oh,
I have been seeing I guess your Instagram and YouTube come up,
cool.
and it's kind of been really helping me to stay informed.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, I don't really know too much about the candidates. I've heard of them, but I was wondering if you knew of like their campaign. Like, is there something that each one of them is saying that they want to provide for the school? That way, I guess that would help me understand like what president would I be looking forward to for the school. So I'm just trying to get a little bit more background knowledge on the candidates.
That's a fair question. And so what I do know is they have not pitched to the general public yet. That is supposed to happen during their visits. And from what I know, uh, the 12th and the 13th, Dr. Coleman Farrell will be on campus. She'll be the first one to visit, and they're supposed to have a live session with her, I believe. And I think that's when there'll be some Q&A. That'll be when she'll get to talk to public and the faculty and all that stuff about her vision for the institution. And I think that's supposed to happen next week. So I imagine that they'll follow that same model for the other two candidates. So as of now, the answer to your question is, yeah, we don't know either. Like no one really knows
Okay. Yeah.
like what is going to happen. But that's everybody's question. That's my question. It's just like, okay, we're hearing about these candidates, but why should we get behind any of them right now? Because we don't know
Correct. I
anything.
think that's been my question too. Because it's kind of hard to say who we would see in that role if we're not sure of. We haven't heard them too much speak about what they're bringing because obviously our campus is so important to
Yes.
a lot of us, so it's important to hear what they're planning to do. So that answers my question because I was like, am I missing something? Have I not been tuned in enough? So thank you for answering that question. That gives me something to kind of look forward to as far as thinking about who I would like to see in that role. So thank you.
Cool. Thank you. Talk to you later.
All right,
All
bye.
right.
To kind of look forward
Carla,
to as
you on the
far as
line?
thinking
Name and where you're
about
from.
I'm Vernon Jackson, alumni of the Great Bethune Cookman College, class of '84.
Mr. Jackson, how you doing, man? I know you.
That's good. From West Palm Beach.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing fine. How you doing?
I'm well. I'm well. What's on your mind?
Um, Dr. Coleman Farrell, I believe is her name.
Mm-hmm.
From my understanding, I know her dad graduated from Bethune Cookman, and I believe the mother and also her uncles. Her dad, and his brothers were known as the Coleman brothers on the campus,
Mm.
and they played football with Bethune Cookman.
Yeah, I've heard that she's got some strong ties to the institution, so that's always good because she won't come in
Yeah,
and have to learn the ways of Dr. Bethune.
correct. So, BCU is kind of in her DNA.
Yeah, I would probably agree there. Like the last caller though, I think most of us just I think want to know, they want to hear their vision and their plan for what they see for the future. But her being having a little bit of maroon and gold in her blood definitely, I think it helps. I think it helps.
Yeah. You're aware it's a lot of alumni. I was a part of the original alumni, that was divided with that situation in court.
Right? Yes, sir.
And I think, we are basically need a president to kind of, bring us up because Bethune Cookman, with the past situation, kind of been out in the valley.
Yes, sir. I
So it's
agree.
not time for it's time for us to rise. And I believe that if we, pray that God put the right president in there for us, I think we can move forward. I think we can begin the healing process with our alumni, the Daytona community, and all those who's involved with the situation happened in the past.
Yes, sir. I think we're almost there. I think we're almost there, and it just again it takes everybody. And so I think what we're doing tonight, having these discussions, help. And I think and I know the board and the candidates and faculty and alumni, everybody tunes in to this show to hear us talk. And so that was why I felt like enough of me interviewing the people, like it's time for the alumni and the people from around to be able to speak to what they're feeling so that they can also know how we're feeling and kind of get that pulse of what's going on. So I appreciate you, man. Thank you for calling.
And I also like to say I appreciate what you're doing, and please send me your link so I can send you a donation because it's really needed and you're making a difference.
I appreciate you, and I don't know if you have Cash App. I have it up on the corner of the screen right there. That will allow you to do Cash App. If you don't have Cash App, just shoot me a message, and we'll figure something out. I ain't gonna never turn down a donation. We'll find a way to make it happen. So I appreciate you. Thank you for your support, and Hail Wildcats.
Hail Wildcats.
Alrighty. 404-567-6536 is the number. The line is open, and we're trying to talk to you guys about how you're feeling about the presidency. Do not be shy. I don't bite, neither does the show. We just want to hear from y'all about how you're feeling about the presidential search, how you're feeling about the candidates, or anything else. It doesn't have to be about that, but I just know that's kind of what's on everybody's heart. And I think the biggest thing, again, it sounds like a lot of the people have connected with the Dr. Farrell and her family being from Bethune-Cookman, which again, I think that's good. I would be interested to hear her vision though. I don't know any of the candidates. I don't think I'm going to endorse anyone either because I don't feel like I know enough. Maybe after the visits, if I get a chance to listen to all of their messages and their pitches, then maybe, we'll be able to maybe I think about that. But right now, we got to call and see what we got. Carla, welcome to the show. What's your name and where you from?
Hey, good evening, sir. Excuse me. My name is Hank Yansy. My son, Adrian Yansy, is a graduate of Cookman University.
Yes, sir. How you doing, man?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm well.
Hey, just got a quick sort of question or a little bit of insight. As a parent, certainly of a graduate and, of a second son that actually attended Bethune-Cookman also.
Mm-hmm.
We've always been concerned about the image, about the disposition, about the way Bethune-Cookman carries itself throughout not only the Daytona community, but the rest of the country.
Mm-hmm.
My question is, or if you can provide a little insight to this, as a parent looking outside in over the years, we've seen sort of the presidents come and go. Okay, I think we've been through 7 or so in our tenure,
mm-hmm.
and we certainly like to see some stability. But my question is, do you feel like the board, the current board, learned any lesson from the past board, and they'll actually sort of move to the side and allow the new president to sort of think out of the box and maybe bring some respectability or either some interest back into the Bethune-Cookman University? Your answer would be greatly appreciated.
Yeah, so that was my question to John Crossman last week was how not even necessarily a question. It was more of a statement to him that, again, I would be interested to see how the relationship between the president and the board is in this new form, because again, to your point, that'll be the difference in us having a president for the next 8 to 10 years, or have another president for 2 years, and we're back here again because once again the board is handicapped the president. That's how we lost Dr. Cripe. And
Absolutely.
quiet is kept. They won't say that, but we lost Dr. Cripe because certain people on the board, I don't need to say their names,
Mm-hmm.
uh, wanted to rule by fiat over the institution, including the president. And so,
Correct.
because of that, we had this kind of civil war between our leadership that ultimately
Mm-hmm.
led to us losing one of the good guys, and everybody liked Cripe. Like, they felt like he had the demeanor, but I don't think Cripe knew what he was walking into, to be honest.
Yes.
And I think he was blindsided by what he found once he was here. And so, I don't think that'll be the case now because, again, new chair of the board, new vice chair, kind of new leadership, and you can already tell like things have
Mm-hmm.
already been a lot more open, and there's not
Right.
a lot of throwing rocks and hiding hands. So that's the first thing. So, um, does that answer your question?
Yes, it did. And again, as parents, I know a lot of emphasis is not sometimes put on the parents, but our decisions, were part of the catalyst for our children attending Bethune-Cookman University. My wife and I were talking about that this evening, and Adrian was present as we were talking about it. Spider McCoy, we owe him a great deal. He sold us. He came to New Jersey, and we lived in New Jersey, and he actually put Bethune-Cookman on the map for my family.
Yeah.
So, the heritage goes deep with me. I'm not a personal graduate of an HBCU, but my family is, my wife, my children, things like that. And, we want to see the college blossom. We want to see it bloom, and we want to see, like, my grandson
Yeah.
eventually become an alumni of Bethune-Cookman. So, yes, sir, thank you for the answer.
That's the plan. Thank you, sir. Thank you for calling.
Appreciate it.
hmm It's, listen, that's gonna be the thing. If the board is gonna let the president come in and do their thing, I think I'm looking for somebody. If I had to give like my kind of wish list is to have a president. The biggest thing is that to be forward thinking and not to come in to do the same things we've always done. Bethune Cookman, one of the disadvantages that I think people think we have is actually our advantage, and it's that we're not a big school, we're a small school. But to some people, they may be like, yeah, that's again when you of course when you're comparing us to the school up north and other schools, Jackson State and A&T. Yes, we're small in comparison to those institutions, but we actually have a hidden superpower because of our size, and that is that we can be agile because we don't have all of the bloat and the weight that a typical state school has. We can pivot on a dime if we have to. And that's the beautiful thing about Bethune Cookman. But we haven't always acted like we had that power. Um, I would say there was a time where we did have like that cachet, where we felt like we were way bigger than our actual school size. And I've always said the brand of Bethune Cookman University is way bigger than the actual school itself. But that's because during those years, we had people that treated it like a big brand as opposed to like small mom and pop shop or small storefront church. You know what I'm saying? That's just trying to get it going. Like, we've been doing this for too long. And so I think it's those types of things that we just have to be cognizant of in terms of how we want to be perceived. Um, Let me go into the comments. Let's see. Adrian's asked. We just talked to his pop. He says, "Do we know if those Q&As will be live streamed for those who may not be able to attend in person?" Yeah, the comments will absolutely be in the recordings, and y'all know I chop up the show and make clips and things So they should. What are the comments we have? He said Dr. Kreitz signed a 2-year contract. If they wanted him, they should have signed him to a longer contract. You don't wait until months before it ends. Yeah, I don't think that's why he quit though. I think he was going to quit even if they had gave him a 20-year contract. I think he was out of there because there was plenty of disagreement with him and Belvin Perry, you know. And I think that's where a lot of the we lost a lot of people under Belvin Perry. Let's just say that. I try not to go there, but 2021, we also lost a couple of coaches. We lost Lynn Thompson, a couple of faculty members, and there are some faculty members, I won't say their name, that were almost going to leave or thought they were going to be fired in 2021, but they're still here. We'll get another call. Let's see who we got. Caller, where you from? What's your name?
I'm from Orlando, Florida. My name is Rod Z.
Oh, man. Rod Z, my man. What's up, bro?
Nothing much, man. First, I want to just say you're doing a wonderful job. Keep up the great work. And I got some more donations coming in for you, man. We got to keep you afloat because you keep us informed, man. So I appreciate what you're doing.
I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. What you got, man? I know you. I know you.
You
got
know what I'm about to say. I just got off work, came in, popped in, saw the link, and I was like, "Oh, he's taking calls."
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We trying something tonight, man.
Hey, it's a beautiful thing. What I want to say is to address anyone who's affiliated with Bethune-Cookman that's listening.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't. I know we have this presidential search going on. Oh, well, let's talk about the presidential search since that's your topic. I'm pulling for the young lady from Morehouse, and the reason I'm pulling for the young lady from Morehouse is because she's coming from a school that's similar to ours, and with it being Morehouse, hopefully she's a true Morehouse conduit, meaning that prestige, that honor, that brand, she can bring some of the things she's learned at Morehouse, because Morehouse is different. We all need to recognize that. And I'm hoping that some of the things, the tradition and things that she's gotten from Morehouse, she'll bring and can add to our tradition. Not that Bethune-Cookman's name or brand isn't a good one, but we need some structure as far as a small private black college. That's just my opinion. And I think she might be able to deliver that with her resume coming from Morehouse. But what I wanted to say, and I'll be brief as possible, what I wanted to say is it doesn't matter who becomes president if we as alumni don't unite, come together, become more informed about what's going on in our school, start advocating more for our school in two ways, start advocating for more students to come to Bethune-Cookman, and start pushing and being a part of the process to get some more talent as far as professors and educators go at Bethune-Cookman.
Agreed.
Last but not least, we've got to invest our money in our school. We are too small to be so divided as alumni. We've got to invest money together. Not a lot, just everybody do a little bit.
Yep. Many hands make light work.
Many hands make light work. We're not asking anybody to give their life savings away. There are some structural things we need to do as an alumni and figure out about the Alumni Association. That's all well and good. But we've got to change our culture as alumni. I'm going to say this. FAMU has a presidential search going on. They got some bullshitty going on in the background, but they speaking out, and they are aware. They know what's going on. They're aware, and they're speaking out. And I think we've got to be the same way about our school, even more so because our school is a small college.
I agree, man. I agree. And to your point about giving and all that stuff is like we have to get back to that because we used to be we used to be bad at it, right? And now we're not even bad at it. I mean, that's how much it's fallen off. And so we
Yeah.
just got to get back to a point of, all right, let's get back to just being bad at giving. And then let's get to a point that we're really good. And then get back to a point where Mr. Wells said at one point, I think that we were ranked fourth, I think, out of all alumni giving in terms of percentage. And so once we can get back to that, obviously, I think the president will feel like he's or she has a bit of a momentum or even a mandate to do things because you've got financial backing from your
Yeah.
alumni.
Yeah.
And when alumni feel good about you, they open a wallets, they open a purses. And so
Yeah.
I think they
Well,
I think that
go
has to
ahead.
happen too. I also think it's easy to tell the alumni to give, but it's incumbent upon the school and the president to give us reasons to give. Obviously the
Well, it's a
kids.
double-edged sword.
It
It
is.
goes, the two go hand in hand.
Hmm.
Because let's say, God forbid, we get a bad situation again. The bills aren't going to stop.
It's
Students
correct.
are going to need scholarships.
Yeah.
The money needs to be there regardless. And then I say put your money in and watch it. People say the same thing about the black church. Now they gonna steal your money. No, they're not, because I tend to watch where my money goes. When I put my money somewhere, I know what's going on. I attend meetings or try to catch up. And the way technology has made the world a lot smaller now, so we can come on town hall meetings and Zoom meetings and find out and get information. We can Google stuff, but more importantly, when we put our money in, it tends to make us listen more and pay attention to what's going on because we are investing.
Yeah.
We have too many people that aren't in. I mean, and like I said, it doesn't have to be. I'm not a millionaire, so I'm a thousandaire. So I've given thousands, and we need people to give what they can to support the school.
Yeah.
I'm of the opinion that when it comes to HBCUs right now, every black man, woman, and child in America needs to start investing in our black colleges because they're trying to take them. They're trying to find anything they can
Yep.
to erase our schools.
This is true.
And you know what's going on at the White House. So we need everybody to be on their best behavior, be on their P's and Q's, manage the money right, but we need to be giving our money. And we're going to have to trust each other. That's all it is to it.
Agreed. I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, man.
Thank you.
Love you, brother.
Love you, man.
Hell, Wildcat.
Hell, Wildcats. Great points. Yeah, two things can be true. We can't ever stop giving because Bethune-Cookman is not in a position to not get help right now. So we've got to do our job there. But at the same time, I believe we can optimize our giving when our leadership and our board and our president have done the things to galvanize us to open our wallets and to give, right? Like I think it all has to work together. I think we're getting there. Adrian, my bad, my brother. I totally missed your question. It was the question for the presidential interviews. I think, yeah, I don't know if they're going to have that recorded or not. I don't know. I'll find out though, and I'll let you all know. Just in case we tune in or it'll be a Zoom or something. I'm not sure. I don't want to speak on that, which I do not know. This is actually Sean Liggins has released the bylaws. This is actually almost ran by that comment. I actually agree with Sean here. It would be good to know how our board is ran. That shouldn't be a secret. We need to see the bylaws or a representative of the alumni need to see the bylaws because from what I know, They did rewrite bylaws at some point. Uh, right after the Edison fiasco, I know they went and made some changes, and I think you know, I think we deserve to know how the board is ran and how it should be ran and all the things so that we can see when things aren't uh on their square. We can call it out. You know what I'm saying? Um, so yeah, let's that might be a question for the chair or the vice chair at some point, and they may have a reason why they won't, but it never hurts to ask. So 404-567-6536. Uh so far your calls have been great. Great questions, great feedback, great insights on the things. And so I think it is worth continuing this weekly and have you guys call in and do our thing. Because you guys are great, man. Let's go back to the comments. Agility is a superpower. I'm telling y'all. Listen, people think that because we're small that we gotta you know, just be small. No, man, we're small, but that means we get to just move around and we get to try things. And if they don't work, guess what? You just our school ain't so big that it's that much red tape and bureaucracy that we got to go through to stop something or to make something happen. I get it when it comes to the academic stuff. You don't want to cut corners with that, and you don't want to pivot on the academic stuff. I'm just talking about the external things of the school outside of the academics. And I think it just starts with again having capable people in place. And I know half the reason why our PR and communications and all those things aren't up to par with other institutions is because of manpower and capacity. We don't have the people in place right now because all the budgets have been cut across the board. And so I think once we get to a point where we've got increased budgets and we can get back to hiring um, good professors and good professionals that work in administration and some of the other offices, I think that's going to help greatly. I think that's going to help greatly. Uh, I do maybe about 4 or 5 more minutes with the calls, and then we'll shut the line down and we'll just try it again next week. So last chance 404-567-6536. Don't be shy. Call in. Let us know what you're thinking. I really listen. Y'all was on Facebook. I made a post on last week, and when I tell you, I started to see dissertations and books being written about Dr. Mosley and Coleman Farrell, and even some for Dr. People like these long drawn out. And I'm like, y'all must really like these people, which is good. So I know there's an appetite out there for people to share their thoughts about the president. And listen, this is the best time to do it. They have not made a decision yet. We haven't chosen president yet. So there's time for you to, speak now or forever hold your peace, as they say. 404-567-6536. And couple more minutes and then we shut it down, and it's all good. Let's go back to the comments. Rod says, I know this about bylaws. The BOT should not be hiring or firing unless the president has put us in jeopardy. We need a good pres this time around. God, please. Yeah. I mean, I think we all kind of agree there. I don't know about the bylaws. So let's hope they are respecting the bylaws and not hiring and firing people. Because yeah, I don't think we can even afford to fire nobody else or let go or cut the budgets anymore. In fact, I hope, and let me say this selfishly, I hope the band gets some money back and some more budget because I want the band to be back at their normal size. I want Mr. Wells to make sure that the band can travel to 1 or 2 SWAC games a year. I want the football team, when they go out on the field, they got new uniforms. Y'all remember we used to have the uniform game on lock? That was when Lynn Thompson was here. Uniform game was on lock. We was like the organ of all HBCUs. Nobody had better unis than us for like a decade. And then the bottom fell out. And we all know what happened there, but I want us to get back to that. Obviously it takes money, but I know we can let's see, we need the parliamentarian code of ethics of the board to be on the show. We do. We do. I know we'll have I've already confirmed dates with the vice chair, Jeff Branch. He and I talked, and I believe he's going to come on at some point in June. I think once all this presidential stuff is over, I think that's when we'll be able to get him and potentially Pete Gamble. I'd love to have him on as the actual chair. Like, he'd be a big get to sit and talk with him. And then the president, whoever we hire, I'd love to have that person come on the show. I'd like to actually would go down to the school and talk to them. I wouldn't, I'd like to do that nice. I wouldn't want to do that on like Zoom or Instagram or Facebook Live. Jason says, in our heyday, you would have thought that our enrollment was over 10,000 because of the branding. We lost some good forward thinkers. Let me tell you something. Whenever you saw us on TV and you saw the band, the football team, the baseball team, you legit thought we were a big school. And then people realized, like, we got 3,000 students, and it's just like, what? 10% of the campus is in the band, right? When the band was pushing, 280, 290, you got 3,000 students. That's crazy when you think about it. But that was how big the brand of Bethune-Cookman used to feel. Doesn't quite feel so big now. It's almost like when things started happening, we started to act like a small school instead of acting like a big school, even though we knew we were small. And I think that tends to happen when things are well, and then when things, are not so well, you tend to, kind of, become a little bit meager. And I think that is what has happened to us. Cause let's be honest. Let's just be honest. There's no way, if you look at the size of our school and even the lack of things that we have compared to the school up in North Florida, there's no way we should be competing with them at anything. We shouldn't be competing with them at football. We shouldn't be competing with them at basketball, baseball, academics, band, nothing. But we compete with them in everything. Everything. How do we beat them 9 straight times? How does that even happen? We don't even have a football field of our own, right? Outside of the practice field that we just got 2 years ago. How is our basketball team, for the most part, better than they got a whole arena and they got facilities, and yet we still have found a way to compete with not just them, but any other HBCU. And that just speaks to like who we are as an institution, who we've always been. Like, we have always punched way above our weight. And that's the beautiful thing about being a small school, because sometimes you get overlooked, and then by the time they know it, you lapping them. And that's kind of how we've been, And so I'm going to shut the phone line down, but I thank y'all for, calling in tonight. That was actually pretty cool, and I think it was helpful, and I hope we can get back to that. I didn't I honestly didn't know if I was gonna get any calls because I know people are scared to talk live and all that kind of stuff. So I'm surprised I got 4 or 5 tonight. But before we go, last time, love teas. Got about a week left, y'all. Link is in my bio on Instagram as well. So once they're gone, y'all, they're gone. This is, I think, the last week. And so I want you guys, and if you guys want to like buy one and donate it to a recent graduate, like do that. You know, even if you don't want the shirt or you don't like it, like, you know, maybe somebody else will, or donate to the Av and let us know this is for a shirt. Buy a shirt from somebody, and we'll make sure, you know, somebody at the school, a student or something, gets it. There's plenty of ways for you all to do that, and yeah, I think I'm good, y'all. I think that was cool. I'm gonna end it a few minutes early tonight. Listen, I thank y'all for joining, man. This was great. The call-in segment went about as good as it could go. I was nervous all day because I'm just like, man, I'm about to mess this up. And Facebook went all right. I was worried about that because I hadn't done it since like January because it kept dropping. So anyways, thank you all for joining. We're live again next week. Don't forget, I'm going a little bit of a hiatus in June. And take the summer off. Do all that good stuff. We'll be back in August. But that's coming in a few weeks. Outside of that, I'm done talking, y'all. I'm gonna try to hear me ramble. Thank y'all. I love y'all. Hey, Wildcats. Peace.